Hey, everybody. Is this thing working? Here we are on episode 180. Getting bigger every day, growing more, getting more shows under our belt each and every day. I hope we're doing a better job each and every day for you. Some days we do feel that way. Some days we don't. But hey, like I said the other day on Facebook, some days you're the windshield and some days you're the bug. Today, I hope I'm the windshield, man. What about you, Denise?
Hey, we're going to do the very best that we can today.
Right.
On this Tuesday. There's been some breaking news this morning. Kamala Harris finally picks her VP. Big news. That's all they've talked about for weeks while the economy crashed.
Who was she going to pick? And out of left field, man, she picks Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. And look at how that's written there. W-A-T-L or W-A-L-T-Z. Yeah, like waltz, like the dance. That's hilarious. But that's the great Jim Hoff for you too. Oh man, but we've got that. We've got that story coming up, man. We've got Bannon coming on too, man.
Yeah,
again,
he's going to make an appearance on the show.
Bannon's in prison. Yeah, Bannon's in prison, but you can't keep him quiet.
No, and we're not going to allow that to happen. His voice is going to
not. That's exactly right.
Stay out there. Then we had some breaking news on Jesse Waters last night, so we're going to talk about that. And then Representative Raskin comes out and really says the quiet part out loud. So we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
And President Trump, he was on a Gen Z podcaster's live stream yesterday. So
Aiden Ross's.
So that's going to be interesting.
We got a little bit from that. Yeah. Big day.
We got a big day kind of all over the place. But we're going to start with Kamala Harris by the great Jim Hoff.
Yep. And this is the headline that comes out here from Jim. Jim says, breaking, Kamala Harris picks white bread Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her VP pick.
For some reason.
That's hilarious, man.
And everyone knows why. I mean, Shapiro was the one that everyone was talking about, and so that was kind of noise. But the AP announced on Tuesday morning that Kamala Harris picked Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate. She selected him to be her running mate because he is absolutely
a radical. Yeah, he's as radical as she is.
Radical.
He stood back and watched Minnesota burn, man, and didn't do anything about it.
If you don't know who he is, he served in the U.S. House of Representatives for 12 years before being elected governor in 2018. Walz presided over Minnesota during the George Floyd riots of 2020. He also is a governor who just changed the Minnesota flag so it could resemble the Somalian flag. He wants to make sure the Muslim migrants feel at home and welcome.
One thing's interesting. You called him a panderer earlier when me and you were talking about this before the show. You called him a panderer, and that's what I said. He's not pandering to moderate Democrats. He's not pandering to Democrats on the cusp that didn't like Kamala or the actual Joe Biden 14 million voters. He's pandering to the Muslim vote.
Why do you think that is?
We'll tell you later what we think.
And yesterday, Kamala Harris, she's a train wreck all the way around. I mean, she really is a train wreck. And they put her up here and say she's like, oh, this great thing. But man, even her own party, her own people don't want her around.
No, look, she's literally worse than Joe Biden. If you could ever have picked anybody in the world, literally less than Joe Biden, it would be her.
Well, the only people who's going to vote for her are Somalians at this point. So Kamala Harris was dismissed. She was dismissed yesterday from an intense meeting on the Middle East war in the Situation Room before the meeting was over. And Peter Doocy from Fox News, he told us about it. Listen to him, what he had to say.
This was his observation standing outside the White House yesterday.
We've got a sizable motorcade repositioning on Pennsylvania Avenue, so it's possible that it looks like I can see behind the camera. The vice president's vehicles are leaving right now, so it would seem that at least her part in the Situation Room is done. She will now go back to the Naval Observatory.
It was an intense moment for the Commander-in-Chief of the United States of America, and I was in almost every meeting with the president.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that the meeting's over in the Situation Room.
Correct.
Jim Hoff says on the article, he says, amazing. Kamala was such a distraction, she was dismissed.
I can imagine.
Probably because she was trying to take over. Because all of a sudden she thinks that she's president when Joe Biden is still president. And I think he is telling her that.
Could
I
be.
really do think he's
Could
fighting
be.
back.
I would love to have been a fly on the wall to have seen him kick her out of there.
At this point, I think Joe Biden is just pissed off.
Right.
About the coup that they did against him. Because he said over and over, I'm running. I am running.
Yes.
I'm running. I'm running. They set him up in that debate.
Yep.
And they
and
did a coup on him.
Yeah, and I think even after the talk of the 25th Amendment, I think even it goes farther than that, because as we we've watched Mike Lee on Tucker Carlson, he explained the roles of government, and one was the one thing he said that the president has control over, which is the executive branch. I think they threatened him with legal troubles too.
I do too.
You know what I mean?
I do
Not
too.
only
But
25th Amendment, but the legal troubles too. I think they threatened and kicked him out over that, man.
yeah, well, they're still trying that with President Trump. They're going to continue to lawfare him and put him in jail in September and all that. But before we get on with the show, let's pay a little bills. Listen to Cornbread Hemp for us. Please support our sponsors.
We would like to welcome our new sponsor to Is This Thing Working? So help us welcome Cornbread Hemp. Their mission is to draw on Kentucky's 250-year legacy of growing hemp, as well as the state's unique climate and soil, to manufacture the highest quality cannabis products available in America. They proudly offer full-spectrum, USDA organic CBD products with up to 2 milligrams of THC per serving. Their plants are grown in what's known as the Bluegrass Basin, which produces the highest quality hemp alongside the best bourbon and fastest racehorses. Cornbread Hemp is one of the very few, if not only, CBD brands in America who exclusively use the hemp flower to create their CBD extract, called Flower Only CBD, and they want the world to know.
Please check out Cornbread Hemp by going to cornbreadhemp.com right now for a 30% off your initial purchase of any products on the website. Again, go to cornbreadhemp.com and use promo code ITTW for this special offer. Remember, you get 30% off, promo code ITTW. And welcome to the show, everyone. We want to state, these are our opinions and our assertions. If you agree with us, tell your friends and share the show.
And if you don't agree with us, tell your friends and share our show.
Also, stump that like button and please follow us or subscribe wherever you see the name Is This Thing Working? And our podcast is available for download on all platforms, for example, Apple and Spotify, Google, Amazon Music,
iTunes,
YouTube, everywhere. We are everywhere, wherever you listen to
Google
podcasts.
Chrome, everywhere, man.
Exactly. We are everywhere. You can find our website, too, at www.is-this-thing-working.com. It's a work in progress. We add different things every day. So keep checking in, and please support our sponsors also. And download that Rumble app so you can follow the show, and you will receive instant notifications when we go live Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Here we go with Bannon Watch. We got 89 days left of Bannon being a political prisoner. But what's the thing that he always tells us? Action, action, action. Today, we're reminding you to know who your representatives are in your local community or your district. Please, people, that's important to know. Know who your representative is. Know their phone numbers. Know how to contact them. Call them. Email them. You got a complaint. You got a fuss. You got a gripe about what's going on. The only way that these people are going to listen to you and not go off and do whatever they want to do is by our voice being loud enough where they can't ignore you anymore. Okay?
And that's exactly right. And we have an election coming up. So we need to be involved in these campaigns to know exactly who we're electing and to push them forward. Because, folks, Steve Bannon is always telling us The GOP must secure the votes.
Exactly.
And they must rise from the ashes of the betrayal of the 2020 election. We must do it. We have got MAGA representatives out there that need to be pushed across the line. We need not just President Trump. Of course, he's the head of the ticket, but we need down ticket races. We need to win the House and we need to win the Senate. Because if we don't win these, we're going to talk about what's going to happen later on in the show. It's going to get wild, folks.
Yep. Here's Bannon back in November of 23 explaining what is still true today and the things that we still need to do today. Check this out.
Bloomberg comes out and supports us the other day. The people in the House have to man up. And that goes from Speaker Johnson all the way down. You've got to man up. The country's on the edge of an abyss, and it is you. No, we cannot go back to Nancy Pelosi. Oh, because they're so petrified of being called out. Nicole Wallace is going to say bad things about them. Rachel Maddow is going to say bad things about them. Chris Hayes is going to say bad things about them. Screw Chris Hayes and Nicole Wallace and Maddow. They don't matter. Here's what matters: your constituents, who you're burying.
And he goes on to say later on that turning to election integrity, Bannon stressed the importance of robust grassroots activism to support Trump's campaign. He pointed out the GOP's recent failures, including the loss of the White House in 2020, the narrow Republican majority in the House, noting that Trump will deliver the votes and calling for a concerted effort to prevent any election manipulation. He emphasized that the focus should be on ensuring that votes are counted accurately, not just through elaborate theories, but through practical measures. We need to make sure that they're not stolen.
Through practical measures. You know, I wish that the right thing to do would be to go back to an old system of a piece of paper and a pencil and a box sitting beside a vote counter. And you fill your ballot out and you hand it to that person. They set it in that box and that be the end of it.
And at the end of the day, it's counted.
You know, I know, we know what AI does. We know all of that. We know what computers are capable of doing and hiding from you.
Yes.
You know,
so we really do urge you to become engaged actively in your local politics to drive national change.
Exactly.
This is so important to do, and we're going to keep pushing this right here. We're all about clean up our house at home before we can get him, really.
And another important point to point out is we need President Trump to win again, but we've also got to win the down ballots too, guys. We got to win the House. We got to win the Senate. At worst, we've got to win one of them. At worst, we've got to win one of them.
Yes.
We really
need both.
But at the worst, at the least, I should say a better word than that's worst, but at the least, we have to have one, man. But focus on throwing President Trump's name up there, checking the box for him, and focus on your down ballots, man.
Make sure you vote for Ted Cruz. Make sure, that you're paying attention to who's in the Senate and who's in the House, because it's very important. This is what is happening to our country, because we're not voting down ballot. We're just going in there and voting Trump, and we can't have that. If he is to get any of his policies, his Agenda 47, across the finish line, then we need the whole shebang. That's what we need.
Yep.
There we go. And President Trump, bless his heart, he is everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. I mean, he's going on podcasts. He's been on every channel, ABC, CNN, CBS, Fox News. He's doing interviews every single day. And he showed up on a live stream yesterday for a Gen Z. And his name is Aiden Ross. I've never watched him personally. This was the first time, and I really like him. I think he's pretty cool. He has a good brain on him. He understands the consequences of this election.
Yes, he does.
And so I was really impressed.
Yeah. Did you see the video of the Tesla car that he brought,
I did.
man? with the picture of Trump on the side of it, holding his fist up, and all the American flag and the Patriot theme that went all the way around it, man.
Oh, man.
It was
President
really
Trump,
cool.
He got inside it, and he was all talking about how Elon Musk is a genius and everything. So, Elon Musk just stood up a little higher and all that. But we want you to listen to him actually talking to President Trump on this video right here.
Mr. President, I do want to say, first of all, you took a bullet for everyone in this room, everyone watching, everyone. The reaction that you gave, no other president is going to do that. They're going to either remain, where they are. You are a brave man. You stood up and went like this, and that was a pretty badass picture, by the way.
Well,
I want to tell you something. Not only is it a badass picture, if you watched it live and you watched him stand up, man, it put goosebumps on you. It had to have. You know what I mean? It had to have, because I've never in my lifetime seen a man that brave and that courageous, that knowing, damn, I just got shot in the ear. I need to stay down and protect myself.
At the time, he didn't know exactly where he was shot. He just knew a lot of blood was coming from something.
And that's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point. Instead of him going, oh, crap, I got shot, I need to stay down and hide. No, he got pissed, and he stood up, man.
He said, give me my shoes.
Yeah, he kept saying that.
Oh, my goodness. I was like, oh, my gosh.
But the point is, man, like freaking Captain America, he stood up, man, pissed off, ready to take it on, man. And that's the courageousness, and that's the braveness and the boldness that he brings, and that all of us can look and go, damn, we need to be like that. We need to be that brave and that courageous. You don't need to be an obnoxious person, but you need to be a person that has that intestinal fortitude to know that when you're attacked, you've got to fight back.
Yes. And we're being attacked right now. Every one of us are being attacked. We're being attacked in our pocketbook, and the border, and crime that they continue to say is not happening, And then we have another, like, all of a sudden these Republicans for Harris have come out, and we're against Trump. That's just another division, another part of noise, folks. That is noise. These are Democrats that are pretending that they're Republicans against Trump for Harris. Now, I don't know what you're talking about, some kind of character or what, but all of a sudden they're coming out against President Trump's character and says that Harris has a better character than President Trump. I don't know if you really want to compare the two. No,
I don't think you do.
Listen to these idiots.
And guys, this is another reason why we're stressing, like Steve Bannon has and others have too, the importance of down ballot. And this is why we always stress on our show, be informed and be engaged. Because just like what Denise is talking about, this PAC, this group called #Republicans for Harris, you need to know who you're voting for. Just because an R is down there by their name or a D is down there by their name, that don't mean jack anymore, man.
No, it doesn't, because they're infiltrating
everywhere.
The Republican Party because they don't want the people to rise up.
So, yeah. And so what we're talking about in context, to give you a little bit better context, Republican mayor of Mesa, Arizona, John Giles, I don't know, but I don't think he's of the formerly famous J. Giles band, but Republican mayor John Giles of Mesa, Arizona says, I think the time has come for us as Arizona Republicans to admit the obvious, which is that our party's nominee is not qualified for office. Well, Bud, 3 weeks ago, everybody voted him in. You sure didn't stand up there then and say that, did you? But here, anyway, listen to what this goob has got to say.
And I think the time has come for us as Arizona Republicans to admit the obvious and to start saying the quiet part out loud, which is that our party's nominee is not qualified for office, and that we need to vote for the adult in the room, and that is Kamala Harris.
It is time to put partisan loyalties aside and vote for the leadership that will truly represent the people we want to be in the eyes of the world. Character matters.
In the eyes of the world, character matters.
Exactly.
Well, their character probably in the eyes of the world, because it's all liberal out there in the world outside of America. You know what really struck me about this is, do you remember just a couple of weeks ago at the RNC, the Republican National Convention that we had, and everyone was so unified and together, and we love, and
exactly
we're not divided, and we're not.
Well,
Well, what happened to that all of a sudden?
Well,
is that when Joe Biden was running?
My thing is, just like with this guy right here, like I said, hey, where were you 3 weeks ago during the convention? You sure didn't stand up then. So, from the outside looking in, I see you call yourself a Republican mayor of Arizona, but I turn around and see you support a radical, progressive Kamala Harris that everybody has known for years. This is not anything new. This chick is toxic, and she's ignorant. And I'll say it, she's ignorant.
And she won't be running the country.
No.
She will just be like Joe Biden. She's not even giving interviews. I mean, not answering a question from the press already. This is Joe Biden.
But that's my point. My point is, you come out to support her. You didn't come out and say that during the RNC. You didn't come out and say it any time before that. But now all of a sudden you are. That just tells me that all you are is infiltrated. You're a damn Democrat. And you're no good anyway. This is the importance of down ballot, man.
Well, you also have to remember, this is Arizona. Arizona does not want MAGA in. And Carrie Lake and a lot of Abe Hamadeh, Biggs, Eli Crane, they all won their primaries. So all of a sudden, they're going to come out and Steve Ricker, whatever have you say his last name, he lost his primary. He is no longer part of the election commission. So they're mad. They're mad that the people are winning. And this is what we got to continue to do. I will say this. We will not let what happened to President Trump on January 13th. And always remember that in your mind. J13, hashtag J13. Because they're memory holding this, and they're not wanting you to talk about the assassination anymore. They're wanting you to talk about all this other stuff, this noise that we've just been telling you about the Republicans for Harris. Crazy stuff.
Hey, are you looking for your next unforgettable experience? Discover and attend the hottest events in your area with Eventbrite. From concerts to conferences, festivals to fundraisers, Eventbrite has it all. With our easy-to-use platform, finding and purchasing tickets is a breeze. Plus, with personalized recommendations based on your interest, you'll never miss out on an event that's perfect for you. Whether you're a seasoned event goer or just looking for something new, Eventbrite connects you with experiences that create memories to last a lifetime. Download the app or visit their website today and start exploring your world with Eventbrite.
Please click that link below. Yesterday, Senator Josh Hawley broke some important news regarding the USSS, which is the Secret Service, last night on Jesse Waters. And we want to thank you ahead of time before we let you listen to this video. We want to thank all of the whistleblowers that are coming forward. We've been pushing, we've been asking, we've been pushing people to, hey, come forward. Everyone that is coming forward, you are 100% an American. And know that our national security is at stake at this point. There is no security for President Trump, and we worry about him every single day, so we appreciate you.
Yep. Thank you for your bravery and your courage to expose this crap, man, that's going on.
Senator Josh Hawley's been speaking with these whistleblowers, and he joins us now. Senator, what have these whistleblowers been telling your office?
Well, what they've been saying, Jesse, is that this individual, the site agent, the lead agent, was known to the Trump campaign to be inexperienced, to be ineffectual, to be, frankly, incompetent at their job. Well, I'm also told by whistleblowers that on that day, she was not enforcing the normal security protocols. She was not checking people's IDs. She did not use Secret Service agents. Most of the agents there that day were not Secret Service agents. They were Homeland Security agents. And get this, Jesse, most of them had never worked a rally before. And yet this is who she chose to staff the event with, and she didn't train them or integrate them. From top to bottom, it was a total disaster. Jesse, it is a miracle, not only that Trump is alive, but that more good Americans were not killed. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Really, it is a miracle. I mean, it was millimeters, and he would, if that bullet was millimeters away from killing him, man.
Well,
it's sad.
Yeah, and it was a miracle that it was only just 4 victims. That's the biggest miracle of all out of this.
Absolutely.
Because, man, there could have been some real damage done
I
all the
know.
way around.
I know.
And you know, we can kind of relate that to ourselves going to Trump rallies. Man, the rally that we went to last year in Waco, it was real tight security.
Oh, my goodness.
Really tight.
Yes. I mean, there was no way that people were getting in around anywhere without being searched. And
exactly.
I mean, your items that you brought in, they were very particular, you know, about your items. So I find this so weird about this rangefinder thing, because I'm pretty sure they would have taken that away at the gate.
Well, exactly. And if you remember there, and if nobody has been to any, the one that was set up at Waco is, you know, you park a pretty good distance back, you know, a little walk back from the event. And as you headed toward the airport buildings and all, that whole big open area had roped off sections to where you basically went through the line like you would at an amusement park. Basically, same kind of setting. And then they had the tent. They had the checkpoint. And like you said, at that checkpoint, man, they were watching people. They were watching how you acted. They were watching and listening to the things you said. They made you empty your pockets. They wouldn't even allow you to bring a cigarette lighter in. At first, they were allowing bottles of water to come in. You know what I mean? But then they caught somebody trying to sneak a bottle of vodka in, and they even shut that down. And not only were those Secret Service agents there that were uniformed, armed, and standing there.
And they were professional.
Very
and
professional.
knew their job.
Yes.
So what happened in a year, do you think?
Exactly.
With the Secret Service. It's amazing to me. I think they got lax on President Trump on purpose. I do. I think they didn't want to give him the manpower. They were only giving him people that were inexperienced. And then I think there are people that just don't want to work for the Secret Service anymore because of their leadership. But what we're going to do now is tell you why it's so important for you to listen to us right now and understand why a vote for President Trump is the only vote that you can consider at this point. Because yesterday, a Democrat representative of the House came out and he told everyone exactly what they're going to do to President Trump if we don't win.
Well, if
the House
we win
and the Senate. No, this is important. If we don't win the House and the Senate, this is what they're going to do to us. And President Trump, of course.
What can be put into the Constitution can slip away from you very quickly. And the greatest example going on right now before our very eyes is Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which they're just disappearing with a magic wand, as if it doesn't exist, even though it could not be clearer what it's stating. And so, you know, they want to kick it to Congress, so it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025, to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody in Civil War conditions, all because the 9 justices, not all of them, but these justices who have not many cases to look at every year, not that much work to do, a huge staff, great protection, simply do not want to do their job and interpret what the great 14th Amendment means. And I'm glad that Sherilyn's creating her new...
That was Jamie Raskin. And was he threatening a civil war?
Yes.
That's
I do believe
what it
what
sounds
he's
like
doing.
to me, too. That's what it sounds like to me. What he's trying to say is the Section 3 to keep a felon off of the ticket, that he disqualifies him for being a felon, that you can't run for president. We know that to be false. You can.
Yes, you can run for president if you're a felon. But they're also talking about the Supreme Court and how the Supreme Court came back and said, hey, you need to make your own laws. You can't just arbitrarily say he's an insurrectionist without some way to prove it. And what I want to read here is Laura Loomer, who is a great journalist. And she said in June, and I remember her posting about this, she said, I told everyone that House Democrats are focusing all of their messaging coming into November around President Trump being an insurrectionist. And I explained how Representative Raskin and Representative Swalwell are trying to bring a bill to the floor of the House to declare Trump an insurrectionist because they plan on saving their bill for January 3, 2025. You notice he said January 6th. Okay, so this bill they plan on passing, like I said, on January 3, 2025 at 12:03 p.m., right after Representative Jeffries is sworn in as Speaker of the House.
How do they know Jeffries is going to be Speaker of the House?
Exactly. How do they know?
That's their plan. This is the chess game we always talk about, how they play chess all the time. But let me tell you something, man. This is also big signal, because the only way that Raskin is bold enough to come out and say these things right now
is if they win the House. And that, what, does he know something we don't know?
Think about this. The border has been wide open. They have allowed millions upon millions of illegal aliens into our border. They have registered all of these people to vote. They're expecting all those votes. This is why the border is important. This is one of the biggest reasons why the border is so important.
And under the Biden-Harris administration, of the more than 250 illegal aliens on the terrorist watch list who were encountered by Border Patrol at the southwest border between fiscal year 21 and 2023, DHS has released into American communities at least 99, with at least 34 others in DHS custody, but not yet removed from the United States terrorist watch list. And I can guarantee you, they're on a registration to vote somewhere. I mean, these people are registering everybody that comes into this country to vote. And no, they might not all vote because, you know, in Texas, you have to show an ID and you have to be an American. But there are some cities that don't care about IDs, even in Texas.
Tell me I'm right. Maybe tell me I'm wrong. But here's my prediction with this. When they pass this little bill, if they get it passed on January the 3rd, and then come January the 6th, when they go to say we're not going to certify the election because Donald Trump is a felon, and everybody goes, oh, hell, no, you're not either, and everybody takes off toward the Capitol to protest this like we're supposed to and go to protest it peacefully, those that have crossed the border, those that they've allowed to come into our country illegally, they're going to call on those people, and it's going to get ugly. That's my prediction. I could be wrong, but I believe that's why Raskin thinks he has the balls to stand there and say this right now.
I do, too. I absolutely do. And while our states are still trying to protect the citizens from the criminals that are coming across the border, Bill Melugin broke this.
Bill Melugin says, new. ICE says a validated leader of a Colombian gang who is wanted for homicide and arms trafficking in Colombia was caught by Border Patrol near San Ysidro, California in September, but was released into the U.S. by the feds. ICE in Baltimore found and arrested him in College Park, Maryland on Wednesday. What's he been doing all this time?
Living off of the American taxpayer.
Exactly. And this is, though, the part that we talked about at the beginning, why it was so important to pay attention to this Harris-Walz position, this Harris-Walz pick, campaign, whatever. Bill Melugin also says, Harris-Walz passed positions on border immigration. Harris, decriminalize illegal immigration, abolish ICE, which she compared to the KKK, if you remember.
I do.
Look the videos up. You can find them. She also wants Medicare for illegal immigrants and pushed false Border Patrol whipping narrative. You remember the horse and the all of that?
Compared it to slavery?
Yes, she did. Now, look at Governor Walz. Walz in Minnesota pushed for free college and Minnesota care expansion for what? Illegal immigrants. Signed law to allow what? Illegal immigrants to get driver's license, and said he would invest in a ladder company to defeat Trump's border wall. Well, buddy, you better get to investigating, because the courts have already said you got to finish that wall. Ken Paxton won that battle last week.
I know. It's pretty great. So, folks, we have listed throughout the show the many reasons why the Democrats are the party of hurt and pain and disloyalty.
They're the party of being power-hungry Marxists. That's what they are.
Yes.
And our country is in a tyrannical mess if these guys get elected.
There's only one way to go, folks. There's only one way to go. Do you want America to be great again, or do you want America to be gone?
Is this thing working?
Rise up.
Well, hey, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've learned some things about what's going on around us in the nation and in your communities. You know, we couldn't do this without your continued support either. We appreciate all of you showing up, taking the time to listen to us today. So please, like I say, make sure to hit the like button, share our show with all your friends. We'll see you next time on Is This Thing Working? And as always, I'm James, and that's my lovely co-host over there,
Denise.
And we'll see you next time.
We're out.